the season premiere of America's most watched daytime talk show.
Dr. Phil, I need your help in a big, big way. My family is in shambles.
Bam Margera.
I'm amazed that I tried for your help and Dr. Phil's team is here. I'm like, how did they find me?
When I see a young man that's in trouble and asking for help, my ears prick up.
The issues.
Do you have trouble handling alcohol?
Not lately.
Is there something wrong with you?
No.
Why are you here?
His mother.
You are addicted to drama and entitlement.
I don't want to talk to you ever again.
His wife.
You don't listen. You don't follow rules.
You've been yelling at her. You do this, you do that, you do this. That's just purely abusive.
The outbursts.
You were kicked off a flight.
Do you think anybody can do 50 shots of tequila? You idiots.
Does that seem like a reasonable conversation to be having? You calling him an idiot and a moron?
And his cry for help.
I've just lost hope on doctors. The last person I've left is Dr. Phil, or else I give up.
A Dr. Phil exclusive.
Tell me about your little boy.
He is the raddest kid ever. He's like my best friend, and I've known him for not even 2 years.
So you'd die for him.
Yeah, big time.
And the question is, will you live for him? Bam Margera is best known for his role on the hit MTV show, Jackass. The series, created by actor and comedian Johnny Knoxville, followed a group of friends performing wild stunts. Bam and his crew rocketed to fame by, well, the title says it all, acting like jackasses. The show became wildly popular and led to 3 major motion pictures and the spin-offs Viva La Bam and Bam's Unholy Union. But today, 19 years after the premiere of Jackass, Bam's story no longer has fans laughing. In fact, they're worried for his health, his safety, and his life. Bam knew he had hit rock bottom and made a public cry for help. He managed to get a message to me, posting a series of videos to his Instagram.
I want Dr. Phil! Bam, you need to get some help. No, Sherlock. I've seen 28 doctors. I've been to 4 rehabs. I need Dr. Phil. I'm trying to get Dr. Phil. Why do you think I'm doing this? I want Dr. Phil!
Bam claimed he was ready to stop running and would listen to whatever I said. I didn't fall for that completely, but I did see an opening to maybe start a dialogue. The journey was anything but easy, and it all played out in real time as Bam made major news headlines.
Bam Margera had a really, really rough weekend. In fact, he himself admitted he needs help.
Dr. Phil, I need your help in a big, big way.
Former Jackass star shared a series of troubling videos citing different reasons why he wants Dr. Phil to intervene.
As we speak right now, we found out he is at Dr. Phil's studio right now.
Bam's mother, April, and his wife, Nikki, were desperate for Bam to get help. They said Bam had become increasingly erratic, and they feared he was using drugs.
Being married to Bam,
it's kind of an emotional roller coaster. Like when it's really, really good, it's really, really good. And then when it gets really bad, it gets really, really bad.
he suffers from drug and alcohol abuse, and that's when he's at his worst.
I think he's addicted to adrenaline and amphetamines, and he abuses Adderall. He has done cocaine. I'm finding, like, smoked light bulbs. One day, we found a bag of meth that his little dealer must have left in the mailbox.
I just see him slowly dying. I need him as a partner, and Phoenix needs him as a dad. The cops don't do their job when it comes to Bam. They're one of the biggest reasons why he is as bad as he is today. He gets away with everything. He has no repercussions. Because of who he is, being a jackass, they'll just laugh it off, give him a ride home, be like, hey, can we get a photo?
When Bam says that he's not drinking, he's not doing drugs, that he's sober, we know that he's drinking. Doesn't take a genius to see that. When he's acting crazy, I know he's on drugs. He's lying to us, but more than anything, he's lying to himself.
Today, in an emotional interview, Bam faces his demons. What do you say, man?
How you doing? Nice
How's
to
it
meet
going?
you.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. We actually, your son Jordan, we have a mutual friend, and I don't know if you know how talented he is at guitar, but really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell Jordan we talked.
I'm amazed that I cry for your help. And then I didn't even know what hotel I was going to in Austin. I did a Comic-Con. They were taking me to another one. And they're like, Dr. Phil's team is here. I'm like, how did they find me? I'm like, that is awesome.
As you just mentioned, Jordan, and I got another son, Jay, I've got 2 boys.
Yeah.
About your age. And when I see a young man that's in trouble and asking for help, you know, my ears prick up.
I've seen 28 doctors, and they all tell me something different, but I watch you, and I'm like, Dr. Phil is always right. If I agree with him on everything, and he's never gone wrong, I need Dr. Phil. And if he's telling me that I'm doing something wrong, I'll obey.
Well, I'm not always right, but
To me,
I'm,
you are.
I'm always attentive, and I'll tell you what I think. So look, are you doing drugs right now?
No,
Are you high right now?
no.
Residually?
I'll tell you exactly. I had on the flight 2 hot teas with a lot of salt because I had a sore throat, 1 glass of champagne, and then every day I take 2 10-milligram Adderalls. But not to mention, I have all these other things that all these doctors want me to take, and I just stopped taking them because, A, I can't tell what it does. B, I just feel weird taking it. I don't know. Like, when I took Seroquel, they were like, this is for your depression. I'm like, all right. Well, the only reason why I'm depressed is because I'm a skateboarder, and skateboarders have to be as thin as they possibly can be, and I cannot lose this 15 pounds, the last 15 pounds, for the life of me. So I'm depressed because I can't lose this.
What drugs have you done?
A lot of coke when I tried it for the first time at 25. Probably did it pretty frequent until 29. Adderall when I could get it until I finally got my own prescription. I've tried ecstasy. I hate mushrooms. I hate weed. I don't mind Xanax, but I don't necessarily want it.
How about meth?
Yeah, I've tried that. Here and there, I would do it, but it's rare.
Is there something wrong with you?
No.
Then why are you here?
Because my mom makes me go crazy, and then my wife is 90% perfect, but she has this one massive flaw. It's called stubborn. She's so stubborn that I printed 3 pages on what stubborn is. She was too stubborn to even read stubborn. My mom can make me go bonkers because she doesn't listen to you. She already knows what she's gonna say of her problem with you when you're trying to ask me a question. And then when she's talking, it's usually negative. It's something that she has a problem with. It's never thumbs up. It's always a thumbs down of talking nowhere fast. Makes me go mental. She always wants to know what's going on at the Castle House, and she never wants me to know about it. So she has to text all my friends and be like, don't tell Bam, but what's going on over there at the house? And I think it's messed up.
And your mother's name is?
April.
And your dad's name is Phil.
Phil.
You've been to rehab 4 times?
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with you?
The first time I went to rehab.
Well, I didn't ask you about the first time.
Okay.
You got to let me do this interview.
Okay.
Follow me.
Okay, I will.
You've been to rehab 4 times. And I said, is there something wrong with you? There must be something wrong with you or you wouldn't be here.
They said that I might, the people at the rehab. They say I may have bipolar.
Why have you been to rehab 4 times?
Mainly alcohol.
Were you in fact an alcoholic? Were you abusing alcohol?
I thought I was fine, but now I realize now I wasn't fine.
Do you have trouble handling alcohol?
Not lately, and it's been a long time. I'd say 2013, it was pretty bad. I would have to wake up to Jack Daniels and hot tea, and then throughout the day, I would just keep kind of sipping on that, and by the end of the day, I'd be pretty hammered. If I drink now, it's once a week, and it's like 2 beers. And if a new friend shows up that I haven't seen in a while, it's 3.
You were kicked off a flight last Saturday?
Yeah.
For what?
Because they thought I smelled like alcohol. I had 1 drink.
You also have an integrity issue because there's a minute ago you said you had 50.
Because I'm with you idiot.
They just walked by and said, you smell like alcohol, get off?
I was kind of like, huh? No way, this is crazy. Because I'm sitting next to the same 92-year-old man, and he was telling me all about the war, and like, they thought that I was like talking to strangers that I didn't know.
And they're like, are you sure you're able to be on this flight? I'm like, yeah.
Well, here's what you posted after that.
What are you, a moron? You think anybody can do 50 shots of tequila?
Listen, your word,
You
man.
got out of your mind.
That's your word, my brother.
No one can do 50 shots of tequila. You'd be dead.
I know that, yeah.
So you believe me? You should be fired if you believe me.
Yeah, like I said, man.
You should be fired if you believe me.
Does that seem like a reasonable conversation to be having in an airport?
Absolutely not.
I mean, does it seem like you calling him an idiot and a moron
'Cause
and
he
throwing
is.
bombs?
I was just trying to see how stupid this guy was. And he was that dumb to think that I had 50 shots of tequila.
I'm just trying to find out where your thresholds are. So at this point, you don't think you have an alcohol problem?
No. I crave it once a week.
Okay.
Like, pretty bad.
And last year, here in LA, you got arrested for DUI.
Yeah. I did a month in rehab, and then I did 20 AA meetings. And they said that's all I had to do.
But you don't think you have a problem with alcohol?
Coming up.
What's all this writing you got going on here?
It's called Lasky and Strigler. It might as well just be called BAM language.
So you've made up a new alphabet.
Tomorrow, he says he's in love with Miranda Lambert.
I guess you could say I was kind of dating her.
He also knows he's being scammed.
What would Miranda Lambert want with a guy like you?
But the big question,
The message is from Miranda to you. Baby, send me $200 so I can release my next record. Why would she need $200 from you? You know whether you're talking to the real Miranda Lambert or not.
that's tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, Parents Gone Wild.
Those are my children!
What got you so upset?
I was really mad.
The school, when they saw this, went on lockdown.
That's Wednesday. We now return to Dr. Phil's season premiere with Bam Margera.
You got arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
You don't think you have a problem with alcohol?
Not lately, not in the past 2 or 3 years. It's just...
Well, that was last year.
That was the last straw.
Let me ask you, you appear to have a salad box full of money here.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
I've always fly with no luggage. So when I made $17,000 at the Comic-Con, I needed somewhere to put it. So I put it in this bag, but I had other stuff, and we were kind of in a hurry.
We have a clip of you going through security.
Yeah.
How much do you have?
$17,000. Yeah.
You didn't see that.
I'm glad the bag was so big that they gave me a Comic-Con because I don't think it would have worked out that well.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good dump. So what's all this writing you got going on here?
So it took a long time to do, but I was always writing these symbols all over the place, and I've mastered this language so good that I could write it and read it faster than English.
So you've made up a new alphabet. And what's it called?
It might as well just be called BAM language.
What's the point in creating a new alphabet?
Say you're a serial killer, and you want to have a diary. You want a diary to remember all this craziness that you've been up to. But if you write it in English, FBI comes in and just goes, oh, we found your diary, you're going to jail forever.
So your target demo here is the serial killers.
I'm just saying, if you want to keep something secret, say,
So
I
this
have
is a code.
Yeah, like if I have a new transition on a skateboard ramp that nobody has ever thought of yet, I want to write it in that. So, because if it's in English, a skateboarder would be like, yo, they call up a sponsor that has a lot of money. Hey, Red Bull, Bam has this idea, it's brilliant, let's beat him to the punch.
So what does that say?
Not only am I impressed with you, Dr. Phil, your staff, especially Michelle, love you and love what they do. Like, they love doing it for you. I can't wait to meet you. You are the only one I trust. Love, Bam.
Would you agree that Jackass is a unusual occupation?
100%.
I've read where you say that's really where you started drinking.
Kind of, because if you're a professional skateboarder, you can't drink. You need the balance of being on a handrail.
Right.
So I never drank until I was like 22. Never tried drugs at all until I was like 24.
But then when you started doing Jackass,
Yeah.
you said you did start drinking then.
When you try a skateboard trick, you're supposed to land it and ride away. So, bail. Jackass is a one-take Jake. You're on a roof with a shopping cart and there's a bush. You can't land that.
Right.
You're not gonna land it. You're gonna eat no matter what. So give me a few shots of tequila. All right, I feel pretty numb. Shove me off as some bitch, you know? Yeah. So you eat, mission accomplished. Yeah. So Jackass is just really stupid, and it's so dumb that people think it's hilarious.
Did you get to a point where you knew you were drinking too much?
Yeah, yeah. Before it was like a fun party, like, let's get all messed up and go do some crazy stuff. Then it just became a point to where I felt like so terrible in the morning that I knew if I instantly would crack open a beer, I would feel better. And then if I had another beer, then I'd feel normal. And I'm like, well, now I feel normal, I'll have another one and then have a little buzz on it. So by the end of the day, you're pretty much toasted, you know?
Ryan Dunn was like a brother to you.
Yeah.
He died in 2011.
Yeah.
In a Porsche. Mm-hmm. They say at 130 miles an hour.
Police say Dunn's Porsche 911 hit the guardrail, launched into the woods before bursting into flames.
After Ryan Dunn died, that really exacerbated the alcohol. He did have blackout drunk periods. He almost uses Ryan's death as a big excuse to behave badly.
You've had a hard time adjusting to his death.
Yeah.
You've said that when he died, it caused you to really question, like, everybody's just gonna die, so what's the point?
When I got too, like, old to be able to keep being a professional skateboarder, skateboarding is what I love, so if I can't do that, what's the point?
Why'd you want to meet me?
Because my family's in shambles. I disowned my mom for good. I never want to see her or talk to her again. And Nikki, if she can't get rid of stubborn, then I have to go, because I can't deal with it anymore. When it's time to, like, you know, I got to put my foot down and set a rule, she cannot follow it at all.
What do you do when you get mad, by the way?
I used to just, you know, smash that was my own, just to let it out. But now that Phoenix is around, that behavior is gone.
Tell me about your little boy.
He is the raddest kid ever.
Say hi!
He's so interested in skateboard. I have all these toys everywhere, and he just goes right to the skateboard. He's like my best friend, and I've known him for not even 2 years. He's like the best. He's perfect.
How's it feel when those arms go around your neck?
I can't even explain it. Like, I can't even put into words. Like, I would dive into any train or anything just to make sure he didn't.
So you'd die for him?
Yeah, big time.
Then the question is, will you live for him?
Coming up.
When did you have what you call a nervous breakdown?
This was like a week ago.
What triggered it?
We now return to Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Bam Margera.
Tell me about your little boy.
He is the raddest kid ever. I can't even put into words. Like, I would dive into any train or anything and get stabbed or shot or whatever just to make sure he didn't.
So you'd die for him?
Yeah, big time.
Then the question is, will you live for him?
Well, that's the thing. I had such a mental breakdown that I really thought, like, I had a choice to just go to the light and be free. And I was like, the pain was gone, and I had to, like, beg for pain back. I'm like, please just give me back my pain so I can stay, because I want to be with him.
Were you at the lake to kill yourself?
No, I was just, I knew that it was like my judgment day.
What do you mean it was your judgment day?
Whatever breaking point there is to a person, I've reached it.
And when did you have what you call a nervous breakdown?
This was like a week ago.
What triggered it?
It was just everything all at once. It was Nikki and her stubbornness, not listening, and I'm trying to get away from her, and she keeps coming and talking at me and yelling at me, and I just need a minute. Please, 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 just leave me alone. My mom, negativity. I'm like, if I ever go crazy, it's because of you two.
So you were frustrated?
So frustrated.
And you ran out of coping skills. You ran out of coping energy.
Yeah. If I didn't see Phoenix, who knows where I'd be.
If you hadn't seen him, what were you going to do? What's that mean?
It means I'm signing off.
Killing yourself?
Not because I wanted to. It's because the option of my brain plan, I can go now if I want.
Okay.
You've done enough.
Well, how is your life working well if you've disowned your mother and you're to the breaking point with the mother of your child? What exactly is working?
I feel great. I mean, my bones hurt because I've broken that 3 times, 8 broken ribs, 3 broken ribs, clavicle, 16 staples, tailbone.
Do you know if you've ever had any brain damage? I mean,
yeah,
you run into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of impact on your brain.
I've never had a concussion, but I've been knocked out before a bunch, and I like it.
But your life, how's your life working?
Something happened to where everything just escalated into, like, my mom's big problem with the castle was I threw paint everywhere, like in the kitchen, all different colors everywhere. It looked cool for a picture, like for a magazine, but living status, it looked like a North Philly crack house. When I moved to Estonia for 2 years, she's like, I'm just gonna make this place like Martha Stewart would. I'm like, have at it. So now I come back and I'm like, wow, I really like what you did with the place. So now, if anybody comes in now, she doesn't want anybody sitting anywhere or doing anything. So I'm like, hold up, is this your house or mine? Because last time I checked, I bought it and then it's mine.
Your relationship with her has gotten to the point of frustration with you that you say, I don't want to see her again. And this all piled up on you just a few days ago to the point that you were so overwhelmed that you were prepared if your life ended, fine.
Yeah.
But you saw your precious child and said, no, no, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to check out.
Yeah.
I'd rather be here, pain and all, to stay here for my son.
Yeah.
And you need help with that.
I think I just need help with my mom and Nikki just understanding, like, rules.
You see, here's my belief. The only person you ever control is you. That's what I'm interested in, because the fact that you have been within the last 72 hours or whatever to the point that you were ready to die. That's not okay. That's not normal. You need help with that.
But when I flew away from all that crap and I'm finally like, I can breathe and nobody's bothering me. This is nice.
It's got to seem to you that something's not right if you got to the point that you were ready to just die a few days ago.
Coming up.
Like, I don't know what he's on, and I don't know why he's acting so crazy.
You make me crazy.
Okay, well...
No, that's not true.
Okay, well, April?
You answer questions with questions, and we go nowhere.
We now return to Bam's Cry for Help, a Jackass star's road to rehab.
Castle Bam has morphed into kind of a flop house for a lot of people who are passing through or not passing through, and a skate park that everybody seems to be drawn to.
The people that he's been surrounding himself with have gotten worse. They're all about the good time. They get to stay at Bam's house for free. They're squatters. They take complete advantage of the situation.
It's got to seem to you that something's not right if you got to the point that you were ready to just die a few days ago.
It just exploded. Like, it was just everything at once. I never have had, like, such a mental nervous breakdown, ever. It was like, I like officially lost my mind.
I understand you being frustrated. That happens in relationships. What I don't understand is how you're getting from being frustrated to the point of, in your words, losing your mind.
Because whenever my mom calls, I know it's gonna be, and then I start yelling.
If you have that problem with your mother, then don't answer the phone. Boundaries. If somebody is irritating you that much, eliminate them from your day-to-day life.
Okay.
You have to give yourself permission to stop being controlled by her expectation.
I agree 100%.
You don't have to have your mother in your business. You're 39 years old, right?
I don't ask her to do it. She just does.
I've had them get her on FaceTime so we can talk to her together.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
April, are you there?
I am. Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us. Let me tell you, I've been talking to him about boundaries, and Bam, tell her what you want to happen here.
When I go to the castle, I like it when skaters are there. When you go to the castle, you're mad that it's not empty. I hate it when it's empty because there's nothing to do and it's depressing. So why can't it just be my house, because it is my house, and let me worry about it?
About a year and a half ago, I said to Bam, what should we do with the castle house? I have a good idea. I could go in, it'll take me about a year to rehab this place and strip it down and get rid of everything. And it did take me a year of very, very hard work to put it up for Airbnb. But he didn't want anybody to stay there. He wanted to put his own friends in there, which are the same group that brings them down. And they're just transient people.
Bam is at a point now where it is time for him to exercise more independent living. I want Bam to not have anyone to point at as a stressor, someone that's putting stress in his life. And you two, in my opinion, are too intertwined. And
I would love to back out.
And at this point, I think that needs to happen.
Like, I don't know what he's on, and I don't know why he's acting so crazy.
You make me crazy.
Okay, well...
No, that's not true.
Okay, well, April?
You answer questions with questions, and we go nowhere. Ape, what's your favorite color? You don't answer. Yeah, but you won't say that. You'll just go, no, but Bam, I know, but Bam. And you already know what you're gonna say before I'm even done talking. That means you're not listening to me at all, because you'll cut me off to ask your new question. And we go nowhere.
Is Nikki here? Can we bring Nikki in?
She's here?
Yes.
Here?
Here.
Coming up.
I don't want to see you, talk to you, or I want you to leave me alone.
You've been yelling at her. You've been saying, I gave you 3 rules. You do this, you do that, you do this.
Yeah.
That's just purely abusive.
We now return to a Jackass star's road to rehab, a Dr. Phil exclusive.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for the invite.
Well, what can you add to the situation?
I'm not going to apologize for caring about you. He was upset because, I'll ask him certain questions or I'll bring certain things up in concern, and he doesn't like that very much.
She either thinks I'm on too many of my Adderalls, so she looks at my eyes to see if, she's like an FBI agent and a good detective, or she thinks that I somehow, some way track down meth. I didn't sign up to date a detective. It's like when I told her, don't text me, don't call me, you broke the rule. Bing, what rule? You come barging in, meh. You're in my realm. You're not even supposed to be here. You don't listen, you don't follow rules. I don't want to see you, talk to you, or anything you. I want you to leave me alone. And you did everything to not leave me alone.
Okay, well.
What do you mean, okay? You showed up to the castle, and then I went mental, even crazier than the other one. You want to see me go down in flames.
You do a whole lot of this. You need to stop. All I did was wanting to bring you food. After your mental breakdown,
I said I don't want to talk to you.
I dropped off
If
food.
I'm hungry, I'll eat.
You know what? I didn't even come in the house to talk to you. How about that?
Yes, you did.
Let me stop this because I have 2 things to say. First off, you said, I just came to bring you food.
Because he hasn't eaten.
Well, but the point is, he wanted to be alone.
Uh-huh.
And you decided to just completely
right.
ignore that and bring him food.
Right.
So you wanted to run your agenda instead of respect his wish.
Okay.
Here's my question for you. Do you see anything wrong with the way you've been interacting with her in the last 10 minutes here?
No. Oh, agreeing with you, just going.
You've been yelling at her. You've been saying, I gave you 3 rules. You do this, you do that, you do this.
Yeah.
That's just purely abusive.
All right.
You're being completely abusive with her.
All right.
And you should not put up with that at all. Period. Zip. Zero. Nada. That is abuse. Do you not feel that?
Completely.
Is saying it quiet okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want, but you don't have the right to manage her by intimidation and yell and scream and impose your will on her.
If you weren't here, she would be screaming higher.
That doesn't make it okay for you to do it. And you don't disrespect the mother of your child that way. You don't speak to her that way. It's inappropriate.
Okay.
When I set boundaries or I tell him how I feel, that's me being stubborn. I'm pretty much very limited on what I'm allowed to say.
That's because he's run out of coping skills. He's frustrated. And you not doing exactly what he wants, when he wants, the way he wants, then you're being stubborn. You need to redefine this relationship in treating each other with dignity and respect. You owe her an apology for yelling and screaming at her and intimidating her, because that's not the way you want to be. When you say that these two are, quote, making me crazy, I disagree with that, but I do agree that there is dysfunction in these relationships. And I do think that your mother is burdened too much with things in your life, and I think there need to be some boundaries established where she is set free from some of the things that she is doing. And if this castle has become a business, then there are certainly ways where you can become arm's length partners or bought out, recompensated, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think April should just not come over to the castle. It's none of her business anymore. Thank you for cleaning it up. I appreciate it. It looks awesome, and I love you for that, but you're not welcome there anymore.
Coming up.
All I want is for him to be off drugs so I don't think that he dies.
I did die, April. I did die.
You are addicted to drama and entitlement.
I don't want to talk to you ever again.
We now return to Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Bam Margera.
April should just not come over to the castle. It's none of her business anymore. Thank you for cleaning it up, but you're not welcome there anymore.
I have no problem with that, but it's like, how long are you going to support a whole castle?
It's none of your business.
People? It is my business. You're my son.
Well, here's the point. He is your adult son. And if you say, yeah, but I'm going to continue to inject myself into your life and your business no matter what you say, then you're going to force this situation to be an all or none, and I don't want that to happen.
Dr. Phil, I am happy to step out. I want some peace. I just want him off the drugs.
Me too.
Okay.
Oh my.
Like, that's all I want is for him to be off drugs so I don't think that he dies.
I did die, April. I did die. And I had to fight for Payne back to be with Phoenix. And you treated it like the Phillies lost.
I don't even know the person who called me.
Who cares who called you? What if Dr. Phil's cameraman witnessed it? And he said, I'm Dr. Phil's cameraman. Bam just died.
You have played all kinds of games.
Yeah, it was a game. It was to see how you would react. And you didn't have no emotion like a succubus 616 witch.
Bam, this is not who you are. You are addicted to drama and entitlement.
I don't want to talk to you ever again.
Okay.
It was the gnarliest death I've ever had.
Okay, everybody stop for a second.
Bam, I love you more than anything.
Okay, I can't know who you are or where you are until we get you to a drug-free baseline. We don't really know what your level of functioning is until we get at least one time, get you completely clean. And at that point, you may have a sense of clarity where you go, wow.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that whole thing. Our whole family does. All we want is for him to be okay.
Yeah.
And be off the drugs. He's not this person.
Look, self-medicating is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's like doing brain surgery with an axe. We're going to be a little more precise than that.
Coming up.
I gotta pay my respects to Dr. Phil to get me some help.
Bam ended up at a hotel where he was arrested.
It's my life. It's your life.
It's my life.
This is Dr. Dina Mannion, and she's the clinical director of a dual diagnosis treatment program. Dr. Mannion, I'm very concerned. You know what his career is. His career has been crashing into brick walls with his head.
Yes.
And as a result of that, there's not a question if he's had brain trauma. The question is how much residual damage has been caused by this trauma. And then on top of that, he's done about every drug known to man, some of it years ago, but he doesn't understand, as most people don't, that you can do that drug one time 10 years ago and it can have a residual effect by scrambling the neurotransmitters in your brain.
Sounds like you need to kind of get down to just the basics and see what's going on. And it sounds like that's what you want to.
Rehab is just simply not for me.
Sometimes when you take yourself out of your environment where there's a lot of stress and a lot of turmoil, you kind of pluck yourself out of that and you're in a safe place where everyone can kind of watch you closely and really see what you need. We'll get you skateboarding, we'll get you physical activity, you can get all that stuff out, but we also want to kind of figure out what's going on with you so that you don't have to be in rehab.
We've got to find out, are you bipolar, to find out if you have an anxiety disorder, to find out really everything that's going on with you.
He needs to stop being in denial. He's doing more than Adderall, obviously. You can see that on Instagram. Nobody acts like that.
I think I'm so frustrated that, like, everybody just must be like, what are you on? I'm like, I'm not on anything. You're crazy.
I'm just asking you if you'll cooperate in doing this.
I've just lost hope on doctors, and you're the one that I would only listen to. The last person I'd left is Dr. Phil, or else I give up.
All right, but don't give up, because I'm here.
I'm in.
Okay.
Everything you say, I obey, I agree.
Deal?
Bam.
Since agreeing to go to rehab, Bam's journey has been far from easy. Bam went to detox at Aloe House Recovery, but he didn't stay put. First, he went on a field trip from the facility and decided it would be a great idea to get a tattoo of my name on his neck.
I gotta pay my respects to Dr. Phil to get me some help.
And while I was flattered, I think, I told my team he needs to remain focused on his recovery and stop running around the streets of Hollywood. Unfortunately, he didn't listen, and he checked himself out. This time, he ended up at a hotel in Hollywood where he was arrested.
You know Dr. Phil tried valiantly about a week ago to help Bam Margera. Bam got arrested last night in what appears to be just a drunken stupor.
TV show. It actually is. This is my life and this is your life. It's my life.
But Bam decided his life was worth fighting for and checked back into the detox facility before moving to a different rehabilitation center where we are told he is making great strides. Look, Bam will most likely face more hurdles. And it is not unusual for addicts and alcoholics to have to go through relapses anywhere from 4 to 7 or 8 times before it finally takes hold. But whatever the case may be, Bam is a good man at heart, and we are rooting for him and will stand by him on his journey of recovery. I have said I will never drop my end of the rope in this tug-of-war with the disease. I want to give a huge thank you to Aloe House Recovery, a top residential treatment center, and a special thanks to Bob Forrest and Dr. Dina Mannion. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. I also want to say thank you to all my social media followers. You may think I don't see your comments, but I do. I saw you all rallying behind Bam, asking me to help him. We heard you, and we answered his call. And that is in part thanks to you. If you're not following me already, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I love to read your comments, and I do post things about myself, my life, and my family. We'll see you next time.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times, memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it